Whether you're in PT school or you are a practicing clinician, you need to listen to podcasts. When I was on my first clinical, I realized just how little I knew about therapeutic exercise prescription. A couple of low-level exercises I learned in school just wasn't enough in the real world. I needed to build up a library of therapeutic exercises in my head, how to progress and regress on the fly. Here's the thing. Most physical therapy programs turn you into generalists. You touch a little bit of everything in PT school. You have neuro, ortho, pediatrics, geriatrics, cardiopulm. You have a little bit of everything. But it isn't until you start practicing when you're on clinicals or you're at your first job when you realize just how much more there is to learn. You realize that there are things that you wished you had education on. Despite the bad rep that the internet gets for always distracting us and shortening our attention spans, I think podcasts are one of the best ways we can absorb information anytime. The internet is just a tool. It all depends on how we use it. If you're a busy person, like most physical therapy students and clinicians are, I think there's no more efficient way of absorbing information than podcasts. You can be commuting to work, cooking, cleaning, working out, and still learn from the latest research on whatever topic you want to learn about just by listening. Especially as new grads or PT students, I think listening to podcasts is one of the quickest ways you can gain clinical knowledge. I think there are two main categories of PT podcasts. The first being more clinical knowledge-based ones. So oftentimes the show host will invite a clinician onto the show and they'll conduct an interview. Interview will often be about the clinician's specific area of expertise. So you can quickly learn from PTs with much more experience in their area of expertise, or sometimes PTs who are actually doing the research themselves. So some of the podcasts that I listen to are the Movement Docs, PT Coffee Cast, Physio Edge, Pain Reframed. So these are some of the more traditional interview style podcasts. Another one is called the PT Inquest. They pick an area of interest and they go into the research and dissect the journal articles. So the second category of podcasts is something that you can't really get in school. These are the ones that talk about business, talk about marketing, talk about communication skills, and you can learn from direct clinic owners. Here are some of the ones in this second category. Hunt for Greatness by Greg Todd. He's a multiple clinic owner in Florida. He's a motivational speaker and a hype man, and he'll really get you fired up about anything. Another one's by Paul Goff. He has a business PT podcast. He's a clinic owner in the UK. He talks about how he has a thriving business in the UK where he has to compete with the state-funded National Health Service. So he's basically competing with free healthcare. Another one's Jared Carter. He talks about his journey of starting his own cash-based PT practice. I just threw a ton of information out there, but please let me know if there's any other podcasts or resources that I haven't mentioned. And lastly, one of the things that my first CI hammered in me was that we need to be able to think critically. Information is good, but we should always be able to think for ourselves and develop our own professional judgment.